Hello everyone, how are you? New update. Seoul, South Korea, AP. South Korea's Constitutional Court will rule Friday on whether to formally dismiss or reinstate impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol, a decision that, either way, will likely deepen domestic divisions. The court has been deliberating on Yoon's political fate after the conservative leader was impeached in December by the National Assembly, which is controlled by the liberal opposition, over his brief imposition of martial law that triggered a massive political crisis. Millions of people have rallied around the country to support or denounce Yoon. Police said they'll mobilize all available personnel to preserve order and respond to possible acts of vandalism, arson, and assault before and after the court's ruling. The Constitutional Court said in a brief statement Tuesday that it would issue its ruling at 11 a.m. Friday and allow TV stations to broadcast it live. Removing Yoon from office requires support from at least 6 of the court's 8 justices. If the court rules against Yoon, South Korea must hold an election within 2 months for a new president. If the court overturns his impeachment, Yoon would immediately return to his presidential duties. Jo Sung-la, a spokesperson for the main liberal opposition Democratic Party, which led Yoon's impeachment, called for the court to demonstrate its firm resolve to uphold the constitutional order by dismissing Yoon. Kwon Young's, leader of Yoon's People Power Party, urged the court's justices to consider the national interest and produce a decision that is strictly neutral and fair. Many observers earlier predicted the court's verdict would come in mid-March based on the timing of its rulings in past presidential impeachments. The court hasn't explained why it takes longer time for Yoon's case, sparking rampant speculation on his political fate. At the heart of the matter is Yoon's deployment of hundreds of troops and police officers to the National Assembly after imposing martial law on December 3rd. Yoon has insisted that he aimed to maintain order, but some military officials testified Yoon ordered them to drag out lawmakers to frustrate a floor vote on his decree and detain his political opponents. Yoon argues that he didn't intend to maintain martial law for long, and he only wanted to highlight what he called the wickedness of the Democratic Party, which obstructed his agenda, impeached senior officials, and slashed his budget bill. During his martial law announcement, he called the assembly a den of criminals and anti-state forces. By law, a president has the right to declare martial law in wartime or other emergency situations, but the Democratic Party and its supporters say South Korea wasn't in such a situation. The impeachment motion accused Yoon of suppressing National Assembly activities, attempting to detain politicians and others, and undermining peace in violation of the Constitution and other laws. Yoon has said he had no intention of disrupting National Assembly operations and detaining anyone. Martial law lasted only 6 hours because lawmakers managed to enter the assembly building and voted to strike down his decree unanimously. No violence erupted, but live TV footage showing armed soldiers arriving at the assembly invoked painful memories of past military-backed dictatorships in South Korea. It was the first time for South Korea to be placed under martial law since 1980. Earlier public surveys showed a majority of South Koreans supported Yoon's impeachment. But after his impeachment, pro-Yoon rallies have grown sharply, with many conservatives fed up with what they call the Democratic Party's excessive offensive on the already embattled Yoon administration. In addition to the Constitutional Court's ruling on his impeachment, Yoon was arrested and indicted in January on criminal rebellion charges. Yoon was released from prison March 8th after a Seoul District Court canceled his arrest and allowed him to stand his criminal trial without being detained. 10 senior military and police officials have also been arrested and indicted over their roles in the martial law enactment.